Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, I thought the news would be slow once Biden got in office. Boy, was I wrong. I can't believe all the news that's hitting us. First, Biden. Did you hear this? Biden might be restarting part of the wall for some of the people in his administration. That is hysterical, is it not? Is that not just off the charts hysterical? You know, because this administration is all about whatever Trump did, we do the opposite. There's no evaluation, assessment, or analysis. If Trump does it, we do something opposite. So if they start rebuilding part of the wall, that is hysterical. Border crossings in March, up a 15-year high. A 15-year high. Joe Biden invited them. Hell, are they still wearing Biden t-shirts? I haven't seen any video footage lately, but are they still wearing Biden t-shirts? How just funny is that? They're showing up in Biden t-shirts. Let us in, Joe. Remember, he wants to be president of the world. President of Mexico, president of South America, president of the world, not the United States. NASA, there's a story out that NASA workers have been asked to volunteer at the border. Boy, that's good use of their time. Astrophysicists handing out water, cake, and candy. I mean, are you kidding me? NASA volunteering at the border. San Francisco's migrations are up like 25 to 40% to Texas and Florida. And I just got to ask this question. These people that are leaving San Francisco in droves to Texas and Florida, when they arrive in Texas and Florida, do they say, I like the way this state runs? Or are they going there because San Francisco sucked, but then they're going to want to try to make Texas and Florida like San Francisco and California? Inquiring minds want to know. Black American gun ownership is up 60%. So, do we not now, when they want to take away our guns, thanks for this tip, Jacob Barton, do we now not, when they want to take away our guns, call them racist? They want to take away those black Americans who are buying guns legally. And by the way, do we not stand united with any law-abiding black American that wants to buy a gun? You're damn right we do. You know what? I think it's wrong for the black community and the way the news portrays it. I mean, I'm being serious. It's almost like, well, anybody's black's a inner city gangster. That's awful. That's racist. Because you and I know that's not true. Come on. Like Charles Barkley says, there's good whites and bad whites and good blacks and bad blacks. All right, gun purchase versus voting. They act like purchasing a gun is easier than voting. These people have never purchased a gun. You've purchased a gun. I've purchased a gun. All those damn forms you got to do, and they do a background check. Guess what? They don't do a background check when you register to vote. Totally different. Much more difficult to get a gun than register to vote, even legally. There is a former FDC director who says that he believes there is he called it a tsunami of non-COVID related deaths from heart disease and everything else based upon they're not getting the proper tests and screenings during the pandemic. That is on Fauci. That is on these governors. That is on all of the bureaucrats that did the lockdown and all these rules on us. That's going to be on them. Those deaths. Vaccine passports. Isn't it comforting to know that the White House says that they're not going to require a vaccine passport? And I love the memes that are flying around about who's doing the fraudulent vaccine passports, because you know they're going to be out there. I want one. I want one. In fact, the FBI said that may be a crime. What do you mean, may? They don't even know. I mean, come on, is a vaccine passport the same as a fraudulent driver's license or passport? I don't know. Let's face it, there's going to be a whole bunch of people with fraudulent vaccine tests. I think it's funny. Michigan and COVID. Whitmer. What are these lockdowners? Michigan has the highest increase rate of COVID infections. You know what? Any state that delayed herd immunity is suffering the consequences now, aren't they? Reds, the Cincinnati Reds, part of their woke culture, man, if you show them proof of vaccination, you get a discount. Nobody's going to Reds. And by the way, the Reds might be starting off 4-1. Give them time. Give them time. And by the way, Mark Hansel from Bulldog Reports has called 5 or 6 people at the Reds to get what their opinion is on the moving of the All-Star game. No response yet. Indiana, no masks. No masks. But you know what? Kentuckians and Ohioans, we have a different genetic makeup than the Hoosiers. So we have to keep wearing our masks because we're going to get COVID and die. But people in Indiana, they don't get COVID and die. Portland police, they're leaving in droves. And can you blame them? Can you blame them? They're going to every department that's not Portland. Once again, we see the failure, the complete failure of a liberal idea. Complete failure. Bruce Jenner, by the way, I'm going to start calling him Bruce Jenner, not Caitlyn Jenner. You know, just because you tell somebody what your new name is doesn't mean that you have to honor it. If I went out there and said, my name is going to be Jill Johnson, does everybody got to call me Jill Johnson? They don't think they call me Jill Johnson. We know Bruce Jenner is Bruce Jenner. He's a whack job. And he's considering running for governor of California. Maybe he's the perfect GOP candidate. That's apparently the party he wants to run on. McConnell, did you hear this? McConnell says that it's wrong for corporate America to get involved in politics. By the way, I totally disagree with that. I just want corporate America to be on the right side of politics. When I mean right side, I'm talking about the correct side. And how hilarious is it that he says, but it's okay for them to give those campaign contributions. Politics affects every one of us, every business. It's just reality. You run from politics at your peril. People like my wife and others, they hate politics, don't want to do with politics. Well, guess what? You might ignore politics, but politics will pay attention to you. Just the way it is. Everything's politics, like it or not. Senator Kristen Sinema from Arizona, the Democrat, says, hell no, never on the filibuster. I kind of like her. But between her and Manchin, it sounds like the Dems got some problems. Tom Cotton's under fire, Senator Cotton, for saying that there's under-incarceration. Now, let me just give you my perspective. I personally think that there should be more prison sentences, just shorter. Because I think, and this is from my own experience, I'm telling you right now, 8 days in Hamilton County Justice Center felt like an eternity. I don't want to ever do anything that sends me back to the pokey. I'm just telling you, it works. Scared straight as we know it. But he is right. That everybody gets off on everything. That nobody goes to jail. Nobody goes to prison. So what happens? You have more crime. Despite my falling out with Joe Deters told me once something that I believe is very true. The only way to clean up the crime situation is put the criminals in prison. The bad guy. I mean, talking about the extreme bad guys. They got to go. That's the only way. They're not going to walk around and start changing their behavior. It never works. Trump lost 1/3 of his wealth serving as president for 4 years. Why is it that Trump, under constant attack by his enemies, acting like he's doing special deals, he loses 1/3 of his wealth? Compare that to the Bidens, the Obamas, and everybody else. Do you see a multi-billion, 50 million book deal waiting for Trump from the liberals? Nope. Think about it. All the politicians that go to Washington get rich. Trump loses 1/3 of his wealth, and he's the crook, he's the bad guy. Doesn't add up. Seattle students are returning to schools, and guess what they have in their schools? Homeless encampments. Little Johnny and little Jane, hey, want to go over and visit at lunchtime, Harold over there in tent number 6? I mean, this is, you can't make this up. My God, the liberal communities and states and cities, They're a joke. Everything they do is just wrong. Cincinnati in their streetcar. I mean, just everything. And what happens? This last bailout bailed them all out financially. It makes me want to puke. Meanwhile, you got Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden has admitted, this came out yesterday, he admitted that his last name was gold to BURISMA. Are you kidding me? He admits it. Full-blown political gangster. The liberals are okay with the gangsters named Clinton, the gangsters named Obama, the gangsters named Biden. They're okay with all those gangsterisms. Hypocrisy. Last but not least, Kelli Prather. I tell you right now, Kelli Prather, I endorsed her. Then she doesn't make the ticket. Now I read in the Inquirer she's being prosecuted. Kelli Prather has told me that she's going to be here at 10 o'clock today. We'll see. We are going to get an exclusive interview with Kelli Prather about the charges that are filed against her, I hope. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.